In the heart of India, a timeless tale of love unfolds, etched in marble and history. This is the story of Emperor Shah Jahan and his beloved Mumtaz Mahal. Their paths first crossed in the grand Mughal court, a moment destined to change history. A young prince met Arjamand Banu Begum, later known as Mumtaz Mahal. Their eyes met, sparking an affection that would blossom into an unparalleled romance. Their union was celebrated with unparalleled splendor, a testament to their deep devotion in royal gardens. Their love flourished, a beacon of happiness and shared dreams. Mumtaz Mahal was not just an empress. She was Shah Jahan's confidant, his soulmate. But even the greatest love stories face profound sorrow. Tragedy struck, casting a shadow. During childbirth, Mumtaz Mahal fell gravely ill, her life slowly fading away. Shah Jahan, heartbroken, held her hand as she departed, leaving an irreplaceable void. Devastated by loss, Shah Jahan vowed to build a monument worthy of his eternal love. Thus began the construction of the Taj Mahal, a masterpiece born from profound sorrow. For over 2 decades, thousands of artisans meticulously crafted this wonder, stone by stone. Intricate marble inlay, grand domes, and delicate carvings rose, a testament to devotion. Today, the Taj Mahal stands as a breathtaking tribute, drawing millions from across the globe. It whispers tales of a love that transcends time, inspiring all who gaze upon its beauty. A love immortalized in marble, a legacy that continues to inspire generations.
You know this building. We've all seen it. The Taj Mahal. It's an icon, right? A wonder of the world. But I'll tell you what, behind that perfect gleaming marble is one of the greatest stories ever told. It's a story of love, of incredible loss, and a promise that led to this, one of the most beautiful buildings in history. So today, let's get into it. The famous poet Rabindranath Tagore once called it a teardrop on the cheek of time. What a beautiful, haunting phrase, right? But why a teardrop? Well, to really get that, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, long before a single stone was ever laid.
Okay, so our story starts way back in 1607. We're in a bustling royal market in Agra. And it's here, in the middle of all this chaos and color, that a chance encounter happens that will literally change the course of history.
Now, at the heart of this whole thing are 2 people. First, we have Prince Khurram, who you'll know later as the Emperor Shah Jahan. And then we have Arjamand Banu Begum, who the world would come to know as the one and only Mumtaz Mahal. So try to picture this scene, okay? There's this special market, the Meena Bazaar, just for the royal court. Prince Khurram, who's only 15, spots 14-year-old Arjamand. And according to the court historians of the time, he was just boom, instantly captivated. It was one of those rare, almost movie-like moments of love at first sight. But here's the catch. Even with that powerful, immediate connection, they couldn't just get married. Nope. Royal protocol and tradition meant they were forced to wait 5 long years. Talk about a test of patience, especially for a love that was supposedly instant. So, when they finally did get married in 1612, their connection quickly grew into something so much deeper than just a royal romance. This was a real partnership, in every sense of the word. As soon as they were married, Arjamand was given a new title, Mumtaz Mahal. And this beautifully translates to the chosen one of the palace. Now, this wasn't just some cute nickname. It was a powerful declaration of her new status, her importance in the empire. And oh, she absolutely lived up to that name. She wasn't just standing on the sidelines, you know? Mumtaz Mahal was Shah Jahan's most trusted advisor. He talked to her about everything. We're talking matters of state, governance, even military strategy. She was his closest confidant, period. And get this, he trusted her so much that he gave her the imperial seal, the Mu'ur-Uzza. This was an absolutely incredible act of trust. It was basically like giving her the keys to the kingdom. It meant she could approve official documents in his name. That alone just shows you the immense power she had and the complete faith he had in her. For almost 2 decades, they were totally inseparable. But, you know, every great love story has its challenges, and theirs, well, it was about to face the ultimate tragedy, a single moment that would change absolutely everything. On June 17, 1631, after 19 years of marriage, Mumtaz Mahal died. The cause? Complications during the birth of their 14th child. In an instant, the emperor's closest partner, his most trusted advisor, she was gone. As she lay dying, Mumtaz made 3 requests of her absolutely heartbroken husband. She told him, "Care for our children and the empire. Promise me you won't remarry. And build a monument so beautiful it would be worthy of the love we shared." A promise that would go on to define his entire legacy. They say Shah Jahan went into mourning for an entire year, that his hair turned white from the grief, but he held on to that final promise. He decided he would pour all of his sorrow, all of his love, into creating something the world had never seen before, a perfect mausoleum. Now, making this promise a reality was an epic task. Construction started in 1632, and it took 22 years to finish. 22 years! Just think about that. More than 2 decades of nonstop work to honor his beloved wife. And to pull this off, Shah Jahan brought in 20,000 of the most skilled artisans, architects, and craftsmen he could find. And they didn't just come from his own empire. They came from all over, from Central Asia and the Middle East. It was a truly massive global effort. The logistics alone were just staggering. Over 1,000 elephants were used just to haul the heavy materials to the construction site. This included that incredible white marble, which was chosen specifically because it seems to change color with the light of the sun and the moon. I mean, the scale of this project is almost impossible to imagine. So after 22 years, the monument was finally done. A perfect, gleaming white tomb for his queen. But the story doesn't quite end there. Shah Jahan's own final chapter is, well, just as heartbreaking. In a really cruel twist of fate, Shah Jahan was overthrown and imprisoned by his own son in 1658. His prison was Agra Fort, and for the last 8 years of his life, his only comfort was a small window from which he could just look out across the river at the Taj Mahal. When he died in 1666, his one final wish was granted. He was buried inside the tomb, right next to his beloved Mumtaz, finally together again. And that brings us back to that incredible quote, "A teardrop on the cheek of time." See, it's not just a pretty description of how beautiful the Taj Mahal is, it's about where it came from, born from an emperor's incredible sorrow. It is a permanent, perfect teardrop of love and loss. So, I guess that leaves us with a final thought, right? The Taj Mahal isn't just a building, it's a story told in stone. And it really makes you wonder, in our modern world, what does it actually mean to build a legacy for someone you love? And could we ever create anything that so perfectly captures the story of such amazing devotion? Something to think about. So what does it take? Is it just about having unimaginable wealth? An army of the best artisans? Or is it something deeper? You know, a love so profound that losing it could actually inspire one of the wonders of the world? Well, we're about to find out.
In this explainer, we are diving deep into the story of the Taj Mahal. But look, this isn't just an architecture lesson. Not at all. It's a story about a promise made in the absolute depths of grief, an emperor's powerful vow to his queen.
All right, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in the heart of the 17th century Mughal Empire, and it centers on two people whose incredible bond would literally echo through history: Emperor Shah Jahan and his cherished wife, Mumtaz Mahal.
Their connection, it was the real deal, and it was immediate. They were betrothed as teenagers, and for 19 years of marriage, they were pretty much inseparable. This was a true partnership. See, Mumtaz Mahal wasn't just an empress. She was Shah Jahan's closest confidant, his most trusted advisor. She went everywhere with him, even on military campaigns. But as with so many great love stories, this one was destined for a sudden and absolutely heartbreaking turn. A moment that should have been one of joy would very quickly become one of immense sorrow. In 1631, the unimaginable happened. While giving birth to their 14th child, the beloved empress passed away. The entire empire was plunged into mourning, but you can be sure that no one felt that loss more deeply than Shah Jahan. The emperor's grief was just all-consuming. Legend has it that his hair turned gray practically overnight. But out of this profound despair, he made a promise, a monumental vow, to honor the absolute love of his life. And this wasn't just a promise to, build a nice tomb. No, not even close. He vowed he would create a literal paradise on earth for her, a mausoleum so beautiful, so perfect, it would make their love immortal. And so began one of the most ambitious construction projects in human history. To fulfill his vow, Shah Jahan was about to mobilize the entire might and all the wealth of the Mughal Empire. Just try to imagine that commitment. 22 years. That's more than 2 decades that the finest minds and hands of the entire empire were dedicated to this one single monumental vision. Now think about that number. 20,000 people. Masons, stonecutters, calligraphers, artists from all across the empire and beyond, all working together. It was essentially a city of creators, built for one single purpose. And how did they move all those massive blocks of marble and precious stones? Well, they used a fleet of over 1,000 elephants. It was a logistical feat on an epic scale, powered by the living, breathing machinery of the era. This project's reach was truly global. While that brilliant white marble came from Rajasthan, the jewels that decorate it were brought from as far away as China, Tibet, and Sri Lanka. This made the Taj a truly international masterpiece. After more than 2 decades, it was finally done. The monument was complete, and it was so much more than just a magnificent building. It was a physical embodiment of Shah Jahan's love and his grief, a perfect, symmetrical, eternal symbol. The intention behind the design is just breathtaking. Every single element has a deep meaning. The flawless symmetry reflects the perfection of their love. The verses from the Quran inscribed on the walls speak of heaven, and the gardens are designed to be a literal representation of paradise on earth. You know those incredible floral designs you see? They're not painted on. It's a technique called pietra dura. They would inlay thousands of tiny, perfectly cut semi-precious stones right into the marble. It's this painstaking detail that makes the entire structure shimmer, almost like a jewel box. So when we look back, we kind of have to ask ourselves, what is the Taj Mahal, really? Is it a celebration of a love that existed, or is it a magnificent expression of the pain of losing that love? Maybe it's both. The great poet Rabindranath Tagore might have captured it best. He called it a teardrop on the cheek of eternity, a single, perfect, and timeless expression of both profound love and immeasurable loss, frozen forever in stone. You've probably seen pictures of it 1,000 times, right? It's one of the most recognizable buildings on the entire planet. But the Taj Mahal,
It's so much more than just a building. It's really an idea, a feeling that's been captured in stone. It's known around the world as the ultimate monument to love. So today, let's dive into the incredible story sealed within its walls. The great poet Rabindranath Tagore called it a teardrop on the cheek of time. Just think about that for a second. What a beautiful, haunting way to describe it. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's the deeply personal story of love and loss behind this global icon? How did one man's unimaginable heartbreak lead to something so breathtakingly beautiful? Well, to really get the Taj Mahal, you first have to get the love story that inspired it. And our story starts with two people, the powerful 17th century Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan and his absolute favorite wife, Mumtaz Mahal. Now, yeah, those were their official titles, but that's not the whole picture. Not even close. Mumtaz Mahal, her name literally means the chosen one of the palace. And honestly, that says it all. She wasn't just another wife in the court. She was his most trusted advisor, his best friend, and the true love of his life. Theirs was a real partnership, and that's the key to this whole story. And their connection was just incredibly deep. They were married for 19 years, and historians from that time basically described it as perfect. They had 14 children together, and get this, she was his constant companion. She went everywhere with him, even on grueling, dangerous military campaigns. Their lives were completely, and I mean completely intertwined. So you have this picture of a perfect, inseparable union. 19 years of it. But, even the greatest love stories can take a tragic turn. And this one was about to change everything. Not just for the emperor, but it would change the very skyline of India forever. And here's where the story takes that heartbreaking turn. In 1631, Mumtaz Mahal was with Shah Jahan on another military campaign when she died giving birth to their 14th child. The emperor was just shattered. His grief was so profound, they say the entire port officially mourned with him for 2 whole years. And right there, in that moment of complete and utter despair, as she was dying, he made her a promise. He vowed he would build a monument so magnificent, so beautiful, that the entire world would never, ever forget her name or the love they shared. And that vow, it became his life's one and only mission. So what's a mausoleum? Well, technically, it's a tomb. A big, fancy tomb. But for Shah Jahan, this was way more than that. This wasn't about death. This was about making his promise, his love, something you could actually see and touch forever. Okay, so he's made this incredible promise. But how on earth do you even begin to do that? How do you take all that heartbreak and turn it into one of the wonders of the world? Well, that's what this next part is all about. The monumental task of actually building it. First off, let's just talk about time. This wasn't a quick project. We're talking 22 years. 22. Just think about that for a second. That's more than 2 decades of nonstop work. That's not a construction project. That's a life's mission. And the sheer number of people involved, it is just mind-boggling. An estimated 20,000 people worked on it, and we're not just talking about any laborers. These were the best of the best, the most skilled artists, carvers, and builders from all across the empire, all brought together for this one single purpose. And how did they even get all the materials there? The logistics were just staggering. Get this, over 1,000 elephants were used just to transport the heavy stuff. I mean, can you just picture that? A literal army of elephants hauling these massive, heavy blocks of marble across India. What a sight that must have been. And the materials themselves weren't just from down the road. Oh no, the main structure is this famous glistening white marble that actually seems to change color with the light. But it was also decorated with all of these precious stones. Jade from China, deep blue lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, turquoise from Tibet, sapphires from Sri Lanka. It was like the entire continent pitched in to build this thing.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? This powerful transformation, Shah Jahan took his incredibly deep personal pain, his private sorrow, and he literally forged it into this stunning public masterpiece. A gift to his wife, for sure, but also a gift to the entire world.
So after 22 long years, the building is finally done. But, in a lot of ways, the story of the Taj Mahal was just getting started. What has it become after all these centuries, and why are we still so captivated by it today? Well, you can kind of watch its identity evolve over time. It started as one thing, a deeply personal tomb for a beloved wife. Then, over the years, it became a national treasure for India. Then, in 1983, it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But it's gone even beyond that, hasn't it? Today, it's simply the ultimate universal symbol of love. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is an absolute architectural wonder, a priceless historical monument, no question. But what really pulls people in, the thing that draws millions of visitors every single year, is its power as a symbol of eternal love. That original personal story is still the building's beating heart. So, here's the main takeaway. The one thing to remember from all of this. When you look at the Taj Mahal, you're not just looking at a beautiful building. You're looking at a story that's been made real, been made tangible. You're looking at a promise, at a love so powerful, it literally tried to defy death itself. Which leaves us with this one big final thought. The story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal, that happened almost 400 years ago. And yet, here we are, all of us. We know their story today. Why? Because of this single structure. So, can a building truly make a love story immortal? Well, the Taj Mahal stands as the most compelling argument in the world that, yeah, it absolutely can.